This hunt is one of those cool hunts that I always look forward to. There are very few places in the world where you can hunt pronghorn and have an expectation of the abundance and the quality of what you can find in New Mexico. Add in the fact that there are millions and millions of acres of public land, and everybody should be, sometime in their life, a person who gets to go and hunt pronghorn in New Mexico. Today's the first day, so I doubt that I'll even take my bow out of the truck today. I'm just covering ground. This unit is so huge. I'm just going, and marking any place I see a buck that's worthy of more investigation. I know some of you are gonna say, Randy, why did you decide that when you went to New Mexico to hunt pronghorn with a bow, you were gonna spot and stock? And I wish I had an easy answer for that. It gets to the core of why I hunt. I hunt because I have a relationship with the animals that I hunt. If I wanted to come here for the absolute slam dunk sure thing, I would have waited and drawn a rifle tag. Nothing wrong with that. I've hunted pronghorn with a rifle in a lot of places, including New Mexico, and it was a ton of fun. And last year I was down in this same unit with a friend of mine, Bernie Kuntz, and he had a mobility impaired tag, and he shot his buck about 1,000 yards over that way. That's a dead antelope.
Thanks for all your help.
When I came down here, when I drew this tag, I said, you know what, Randy? When you go there, if you want to make the most of this hunt, if you really want to challenge yourself, go out and find one buck that for whatever reason appeals to you and hunt just that one buck. So that's what I'm going to do. And I know that's foolish. The odds are that one specific buck is going to hand me my teeth, but I don't really care. Some people, I think, just feel that that's trophy hunting because they want to shoot something big. Maybe it is a big buck. But I think for a lot of hunters, it comes down to forcing yourself to think like that one buck that you chose. What's he gonna do? When's he gonna do it? Why is he gonna do it? And if you can do that consistently, if you can pick one buck, or no matter the species, or one bull, and you're able to pull that off on a regular basis, you know you're tuned in. You know you're doing the right things. You know that you are a serious hunter. So the first 2 days was kind of just drive around, look, figure out what's here, you know, kind of see the landscape, the lay of the land, where's the public land, where's the private land, where can I hunt, where are the bucks, where are the does, are there any lone bucks?
Well, that buck's just not something I'm gonna go after this morning. I got a lot more terrain to look at, a lot of ground to cover, so.
And I think it was the end of the second day. I'd seen a buck that I thought, you know what? That might be a buck I want to chase.
We just ran over here. There's a buck working up this valley right here. We got a huge thunderstorm coming. We're gonna go see if we can make a stock. If not, we'll mark him for tomorrow.
So I tell Mike, the camera guy, I'm like, Mike, that is the buck I'm gonna hunt. This hunt is about me and that buck.
He got way further ahead than I thought. He'd just been milling around back here. And in the few minutes it took us to get here, he covered 400 yards. So he's right down here. I think I'm just gonna back out. We got a huge thunderstorm coming. I don't want to spook him out of here.
This is monsoon season. If you come to New Mexico in monsoon season, which usually starts sometime in mid-July and can run into late September, you better just brace yourself that probably half the time you're here, it's gonna rain. And some days it is gonna rain hard. I mean really hard.
I don't know if you can even hear me without the hail hitting the truck here. I just had to pull over. You can't see anything. Got hail about B-side, just hammering down here. And I'm going antelope hunting. Sure you are, Randy.
Leupold's Fresh Tracks with Randy Newberg is brought to you by Leupold Optics, Go Hunt Insider, changing how hunts are found, Kenetrek Boots for the trail less traveled, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and by Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls. We call the game.
That group of antelope that had that big buck, we were just trying to gain some elevation, and so we parked the truck and we got out, and they started walking right out here, probably 400 yards, and they're going this way into the wind, and so we're trying to catch up with them.
I was just driving around exploring the area. Look out in this kind of flat prairie area. There's a power line out there. I'm like, wow, that looks like the same buck. And sure enough, it was.
I see him bedded out here about 200 yards. That tells me the rest of them are bedded also. Don't know what to do now. Definitely gonna hopscotch these trees to get a little closer. But I gotta be on full alert because he's got 7 does on him. That's gonna be tough.
And so we keep moving around. We're trying to play the wind, we're trying to play the sun. They get up and move a little bit, then we gotta kind of backtrack, trace our steps and come back forward because there's these little fingers of pinyon juniper that go out onto the prairie.
Every time I gain 30 or 40 yards, they move 30 or 40 yards. Been stalking them for over an hour now, and I haven't hardly covered or at least cut any distance.
So it's really a tough game of cat and mouse. And you think about this, you've got 7 does and a buck all looking at you. You and a camera guy on a tripod with a camera that's about this tall. You just think about it and you're like, how in the hell am I gonna pull this off? I'm down on my knees and I have this tree in front of me, and through the limbs I can see where the antelope are going. I'd lean out and range certain objects and know where they're gonna be if they come up. Okay, I wanna know what that bush is, what that tree is. And so we're waiting, and I'm thinking, gosh, looking at my watch, we're gonna run out of time. And for whatever reason, I mean, pronghorn do the most random, crazy things for reasons I can't quite explain. The lead doe turns, does a 180, and starts feeding towards us up out of that little wash.
They're coming back this way. Coming right towards us.
I'm like, no way. This never happens. This is too good of luck. And the lead doe, if this is the tree that we're behind, the lead doe is going this way, and then she goes that way, and she starts coming around this side of the tree. And so I'm over here, I'm ready to shoot out this side, and I've ranged everything. And I don't know why the rest of the herd didn't follow her, other than all the rest of the pronghorn come to this side of the tree. I'm like, crap. And Mike whispers to me, he says, the buck's coming to the right.
He's to the right, Randy, get over there.
So now I gotta kind of pull myself away from the tree, turn my body this way and get ready. But you get pronghorn that's looking at you and a camera behind you, there's only so much movement and so much just visual inconspicuousness that they're gonna see. It's just how it's gonna be. And the one doe in the lead, she comes up and I'd ranged this yellow bush, this bright yellow bush, 52 yards, and she's standing right at that. I had to just turn my body a little bit because of all the limbs on this side. And as I did that, they all stop and they lock in on me.
He's to the right, Randy, get over there. To the right. Shot right underneath him. I ranged out one doe. She was between 52 and the farthest one was 58. And when I came out from behind, I thought the buck was standing right behind the last doe, even though they'd run off, but he must have run away. I shot way underneath him. I just thought he was at like 55. Now I just ranged the bush that he was standing right next to that yellow flower. I came up with berry bounces from 69 to 72.
Here's my arrow right here. Here's where he was standing, right here. Let's see where he was standing. 66 yards is where he was standing. I probably didn't hit too much lower, but still, I was holding for, I just thought he was right behind that doe that was at 52, so I held for 55, and right here his tracks where I'm standing here is 66. But, so right here's his tracks, and my arrow was stuck right in here. Damn it. I still think about that. That's gonna go through my mind forever. But that's why I hunt. That excitement, that 3-hour stalk of just hopping from bush to bush, getting pinned down, having to backtrack, having to do everything. That is why I came to New Mexico. That is why I said, you know what? I'm not sitting over water in a blind. I'm not gonna do any of the other stuff. I'm coming here and I'm gonna spot and stalk, because those are the kind of encounters that get my blood pumping. That's the kind of hunting that, whether I have 0 odds of success or high odds of success, that style of hunting just appeals to me. God, this is fun. Oh man. What a day.
Leupold's Fresh Tracks with Randy Newberg is brought to you by Howa Precision Rifles and Barreled Actions, Sitka Specialized Outdoor Wear and Equipment, Hunt by Onyx Maps, Land Ownership Hunting Maps, Nosler, when your tag is drawn, make it count, load Nosler up front, and by the Boone and Crockett Club.
Well, I'm back out here glassing, trying to find a buck antelope. This morning we were just over there a few miles and found an orphan, starving little puppy, so.
Someone leave you out here, you're nothing but bones. You don't have any fat, nothing. You are dying. You're so weak you can hardly walk. Pisses me off. Someone, if you're gonna have pups, do something with them. I'm way the hell out in the bush here on public land. And somebody left this little dog out here to starve. He's just bones.
Pretty much all of this morning got dedicated to hauling that puppy back into Socorro and trying to nurse it back to health. I'm sure some people watch a hunting show and say, now how can a guy who is out here with the intention of killing an antelope to eat be so concerned about a little puppy? And I don't know, only hunters would understand. I mean, we do it because it's who we are. We care about the animals. And so I don't know how many ridges I climbed on day 5, but I climbed up this one ridge because I'd seen 4 antelope go over that ridge. I thought, oh, there must be a big basin on the other side. So I climb up there and I look, and it's just more pinyon juniper. They just melted into that stuff. And I turned around and I thought, well, I'm gonna look out on the prairie where that buck had been hanging out before and get my spotting scope up there. I'm like, holy crap. He's bedded out there about a mile away with him and his 5 does. I found the buck I missed 2 days ago. I found him right out here about 3/4 of a mile. I got my pack, I'm ready. This is killing day. Opinion, and I can see him standing there. He's a little bit behind the does. I've had pretty good luck actually calling antelope closer to me. An antelope is a curious animal. If they haven't been shot at with a firearm, they're still not on full alert where see a human, boom, run for 3 miles. In archery season, they're still a little bit mellow, so they're standing there. And if you ever hear how a buck antelope responds when he's trying to sort out danger, they make this real nasally sound. They blow air out their nose. And so I just cover my nose and go, And here they come. Here they come. I'm like, Mike, this is too crazy. And they're coming and they're coming, and I range it, and I came up with, I think, 82 or 84 yards, and they just stopped. And finally, the one doe, she's like, you know what, I've had enough, and off they go. I get that hunting a blind over water is the way to go for pronghorn. I completely get that. But I'm here to tell you, me and blinds do not go hand in hand. So I didn't even bring blinds down here. I could have shipped some down or fleeced some down. And I know that's, you know, that's a decision I made. It's part of what I wanted out of this hunt, was to force myself to do the spot and stock and saying, that's the buck I want. Me and the camera guy are gonna follow him for miles, up and down, through, around, hills, trees, whatever, and I wanna try killing. And I hope you, as the audience, appreciates what I said I was gonna do, how hard I tried to do it, and the fact that I'm completely comfortable that I didn't fill my tag. If all you want is watching people fill tags, go on YouTube. There's billions of those videos. I want to tell a story. I want to try to convey to you my passion for pronghorn, my passion for this relationship I have with the animals that feed me. And I couldn't think of a better way to do that than right here in New Mexico, spot and stock, with nothing more than a sharp stick on a string.